Hi, I'm Shannon Prevost. I am in my third and final semester at the University of Bridgeport in Connecticut. I am going to be student teaching in Meriden in the fall, and I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, where do I begin? I think when I read this prompt initially, I thought that maybe I should think of a teacher that impacted me as a child student. But seeing as I'm in a teacher prep program and I'm like this close from being an elementary school teacher, I kind of thought about all of the teachers I've had the pleasure to collaborate and work with as an adult student. And there was one particular teacher that came in mind. I'm going to talk about a teacher named Mr. P. I've had the pleasure of collaborating with Mr. P when I was a lunch aide, when I was a tutor, when I was in a pre-K classroom in the same school, and then also when I was a paraprofessional in a different school but in the same district. Mr. Prevost has taught me a lot of things, but I'm going to cut it down to three really important things. Number one, Mr. P has taught me to remain flexible. This job is hard. And I think since the pandemic, it's gotten even harder, and the demands are going to continue to get harder. Mr. P is always flexible. He does not micromanage. He allows students to express themselves, to take space, problem solve in their own way without hovering or telling them that they have to do things a certain way. Mr. P knows that there is a lot of solutions to one problem, and not every student is going to take the same solution every time. The second thing that Mr. P has taught me has been, as a teacher, you need to set really good boundaries. I think this is why he has such a great connection with every student that enters his classroom. There are a lot of battles that can be fought throughout the day. If you've ever worked with children or stepped foot in a classroom, it is easy to see where that can go right and where that can go wrong. Mr. P sets his boundaries, and he sets only a few. He expects students to be kind, to be safe, and to not give up. And those are the three rules I'm going to implement in my classroom because I just think that they are perfect boundaries. When Mr. P gets involved, it is usually because a child cannot solve the problem themselves. Either they can't be safe, or they can't be kind, or they're giving up. Mr. P has a really good way of showing students that he can help them get in control without micromanaging, being an authoritarian figure. He's very calm and patient. But if you're a student in Mr. P's classroom and you cross that line, there will be consequences, and it will be your responsibility to repair the boundary that you just crossed. But really, I think the most important thing Mr. P has taught me is to not take the job so seriously and remember to have fun. During COVID, Mr. P and I worked at two different schools, but in the same district. And we found that there was just a major hole in both of our school communities with communication. So we communicated and decided that with the permission of our administration, we were going to create a weekly web series called Feel Good Friday. It came out every Friday morning, so our students would wake up to it, and we would ask for weekly submissions from our staff and our students. And the videos started out as maybe 15 minutes long, and they ended up being 30, 35 minutes. It was really just a fun way to find some hope and solace in a time where COVID just seemed so dreary and was so hard for our families and ourselves. We also would do productions before the winter break when I worked at the same school. Mr. P and I would rewrite the lyrics to a really popular song at the time, choreograph the whole thing, and then give students time to practice and audition. And if they got the part, they would perform in front of the school. We've done this for years, and it's always been such a fun, rewarding experience to see these kids work so hard to put on a great show. I think that in a time of teacher burnout, it's really important to have fun and remember why we're all doing this. Sometimes observing older teachers, I can see that they are losing that light. But Mr. P has never lost that light, even if he says he does. it doesn't translate in the way he teaches. It never translates in the way he treats his students. He gives every day 110%, which is the most important thing for a teacher to be nowadays. So I just hope that one day I could be half the teacher that Mr. P is right now, especially when I have my own classroom in a couple of months. I guess I should mention that Mr. P is also my dad. I have learned so much being a coworker to him and shadowing him and observing him and collaborating with him that this is not a dad appreciation post. This is a Mr. P is really one of the most amazing teachers I've ever gotten to work with, and it would be a missed opportunity if I didn't mention him for this video. So, thank you.